Prime Minister invited to use Santina Bunting at 10 Downing Street.
Wow.
Youngest winner in 23-year history, age of 19.
What advice would you give to others that are suffering from imposter syndrome?
Oh, that's hard because...
Welcome to episode 2 of the Untold Chapters. My name is Wesley Foster, and today I'll be sat down with the inspirational Santina Bunting to discover her Untold chapter. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me today, Santina.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. How was your trip down to Redditch today?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Bit rainy, but you picked me up,
Yeah.
so that made it all easier.
Is this your first time over in Redditch?
It is, yeah. I've not really ventured this part of... It's still classed as Birmingham, right?
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Yeah,
I've not really ventured this side, so
Yeah.
no, it was something new, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So we're going to get straight into it. So
Okay.
just so the listeners can get to know you a little more, we're just going to take it back and just see where you grew up, what your childhood was like.
Yeah.
So yeah, just getting straight into it. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I'm born and bred in Birmingham. I don't have a strong accent, so everyone's always like, "Are you really from Birmingham?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I was." So I grew up in Birmingham my whole life. I
Yeah.
definitely consider it home. It's all I've known, really.
Okay.
Went to primary school, secondary school, and I think being in Birmingham and now working in Birmingham, it's definitely helped me to want to help the city and improve it. I think we can touch upon that later when I do the awards, but I really want to give back and help the other students and young people of Birmingham to be like, there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. And what was life like for you as a child?
Yeah, I think I had a really good childhood. I really enjoyed it. I was always that child who was getting stuck into everything. Like, I loved sports. So mom put me in all the sports under the sun, tennis, swimming, netball. And then in school, I got on with like the teachers, the students. I was that sort of person. You walk down the corridor and I'm always stopping. So
What, talking?
Talking to everyone. So I could never get down a corridor without talking to at least one person. So you can see how my friends were like, "Oh, here she goes."
yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. And I think with school, because I went to a grammar school, so it was very academic.
Yeah.
It can, for a lot of people, it can be quite a pressure cooker environment because everyone there's clever. And especially if you came from a primary school where you were like the top set, the best of the best, and now you're just a bit average.
Okay, yeah.
But for me, I always knew that like I was never the highest, I was never like the cleverest person there.
Yeah.
Not to diminish myself, but I knew that I was working at a certain level. So I was like, there's no point me comparing myself to these people who are getting like 90, 100%. I'm just going to work as hard as I can.
Yeah.
But then I'm also going to get involved in other parts of school. So, I'm going to be the vice captain, get involved in the sports clubs, the different other clubs that they had. Yeah. So I think, but being in that environment definitely instilled in me a good work ethic, the importance of academics, which is why I did want to go into university in the end. So I definitely think it molded me in that sense.
Okay. So in your household then, so was it your mother, your father?
Yeah,
your
so
brothers?
it's me and my mom, my brother. So we're quite a close-knit family. But I think, the support that I've had from my mom, she was always championing me, encouraging me to just do what I wanted, really. I was really lucky that she was a very supportive parent. She didn't push me to do anything. She allowed me to try things. Like I did drums at one point. I played at church a little bit. I wasn't the best. But I tried it. Yeah. And I think that aspect of trying different things and seeing what I did and what I didn't like is something that I carry with me now and try to do, because I feel like you never know what you want to do until you try. Yeah, so I think being young, it's a perfect opportunity to do that. And my mum created that environment. And she also created the environment to allow me to be confident and to be resilient. And I feel like confidence is something that my generation doesn't really have a lot. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of social media a bit more. But I felt like growing up, I had a lot of belief in myself, and that's carried forward and made me the person I am today.
Yeah. So with the grammar school then, so was that an all-girls grammar school?
Yeah. So with the grammar school, I had to do a test in year 6 called the 11 plus to get in. So I had tutoring to do that. And it's you don't have to pay, so it's free. But you have to pass the test again. You have to get a grade. And then it was an all-girls school environment. So I enjoyed it. It's not for everyone, but I definitely think like academically it gave me more of a stepping stone than maybe compared to my other peers who went to normal comp school. But my brother went to a normal school as well. So I think no matter the situation, you can still do well because of it. But I do think being in a grammar school gave me a helping hand in that sense.
Okay. So you said you were raised by a single mother.
Yeah.
Did she have to make any sacrifices to put you through grammar school or?
Yeah, well, my mum worked part-time.
Okay.
So I just think, that's why I always, whatever I'm doing, I'm always thanking my mom because, she was really resilient in how she was working. She always allowed, as I said, the opportunity for me and my brother to do sports.
Yeah.
We went to like camps, we could still go on holiday. And because she just wanted the best of us, really. That's what parents do. And I think now that we're older, it's nice to be able to reflect back and be like, thank you, Mum, for everything you did. Because you're so young at the time, you might not really realise everything that's going on in the background.
Yeah.
But my mum, she was always doing it with a smiling face. She was always giving us the best opportunities. So that's why now I feel like now that I'm older, I'm working, I can treat her and give her, that nice time that she deserves.
I know one thing we haven't touched on as well is I noticed on your LinkedIn your ex-GB for handball.
Yes.
So did you get a passion for that when you was at grammar school?
So actually I started playing handball in year, and some people don't know what handball is. So if you don't know, go and get to know. It's a growing sport in the UK. It's a contact sport. So if you like that, then it's for you. But no, so I started in school. So it was just through like an after school club. And then the coach at the time, he was like, oh, you should come do it outside of school. And I was kind of like putting it off a little bit. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll ask my mom. And then eventually, like a month later, I asked my mom and she was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I started going and I enjoyed it. So I was the goalkeeper because I'm long, I've got like long arms and I'm tall. So it's a perfect position. And then he said, you should do regionals. So then I went there. I thought I stood no chance. I was like really upset after the trials, but I got in. I think they saw my potential. And then I was on like the GB pathway. So I did under 17, 19, 21. Went to Denmark, Uzbekistan, Kosovo, Portugal, Spain, a lot really. And I love sports because it's just, I love working with my teammates, like all working towards one common goal together. I'm playing on an international level for my country, for Great Britain as well.
Huge.
Like starting in year 10 is quite late for sports. Normally you start when you can walk, really. And it's just a great experience, great opportunity to dedicate, that certain set of time in my life to a sport. I feel like it's taught me a lot of different things I can build on.
Is that something you still have with you today?
So I'm retired. I'm retired. Which people's like, you're retired at 20? I'm like, yes, I'm retired. And so my last tournament, we were in Uzbekistan. It was Intercontinental Handball Championships, where we came second, which I was really proud of. But I felt like it was time. And, I felt like I'd really enjoyed it, but I was going to be going into seniors and I had to rationalise with my apprenticeship, with work. I had to look at my commitments and think about my passion, and I felt like I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve. And I think with some people, they don't know when to stop, but I think at that time I knew there was like the signs that I wanted to stop and end on a high. No, not even, because I just moved side to side. It wasn't like a fit. So now I just go to the gym. So I do miss that sports, that working in a team aspect that I did have with handball, but it's a chapter that I like to reflect on frequently.
It's
bring out a fun fact.
It's frying my head. I'm trying to visualize what handball is. Can you?
Oh my gosh!
Can you give me
disappointing
a description?
Okay, so it's a combination of different sports. So there's 7 people on the team. You shoot into a net like football, but it's smaller. You score from a semicircle, so anyone can shoot. If you're not bouncing the ball, you can only take 3 steps. And more importantly, it's contact. So I don't watch sports that much, I have to admit. But if I am going to watch it, I'd watch handball because it has fast pace. There's so many surprises. You've got that physicality behind it. It's just the perfect cocktail mixed together in a sport. So get watching handball, guys.
Get watching. Okay, so going back to your household as well. So I know you, Santina, you grew up in like a Jamaican culture, didn't you?
Yeah. My grandparents were from Jamaica.
Okay, so the Jamaican culture, do you feel like that shaped you in any way? The lessons, like the work ethic, the Jamaican community?
100%. I think the background and the environment that you grow up in shapes you massively when you're younger. So a bit about my background. So my grandparents came over from Jamaica during the Windrush generation. So they were invited over after World War II. So they came over, looking for a better life for themselves. And there was a lot of troubles at the time with assimilating into, you know, the culture, the people. It was very different. But they were working like manual labor jobs. My granddad used to spray paint the cars at JLR back in the day, which was quite cool. But they came over with not too much education. They were very wise people. But I think because my mom saw that they worked so hard for everything, she became a hard worker because, you know, they just wanted to provide a good life for her.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's something that she was instilled in her from an early age, and she did that as she grew older. And so I think that's how I became the same thing, because I think being from that like working class background, you realize that there's not that much to fall back on. Obviously, you know, my mom's there, she's got support mechanisms, all that sort of stuff. But as opposed to someone who might be a bit wealthy, they know that, okay, whatever happens, I will be fine. I think having that kind of determination in you, knowing your background, it pushes you even more. So I definitely think that's why I give everything my all. I go out, you know, all guns blazing, because it's like, what's the point in me? Yeah, what's the point in me holding back? You know, when my grandparents work so hard, I want to work hard as well. But also about balance. So that comes into play. I think probably previous generations, they worked too hard because that's all that they knew. You know, the saving, maybe buying a house. Whereas now I think my generation started to realize, yes, that's important, but also stuff outside of work, and us now having the opportunity to have those luxuries of going on holiday or, I don't know, just exploring the UK. Back then, that was not an option.
Is that what you do to switch off, go on holiday?
I love my holidays. Yes, I do. I just come back from Croatia, which was really fun. Nice. And then I've got Morocco and Jamaica coming up. So I love, because the thing is, I feel like you only live one life. And my mum, when she was younger, she traveled quite a bit. And she's given me the travel bug. And I just feel like the world is so beautiful. There's so many amazing cultures, amazing landscapes. And you never know what's going to happen to you. So while I'm young and fit and able, I want to be able to experience that. But also, I'm not blowing all my money on holidays. I'm saving as well. So it's all about balance, really.
Of course. And one more question. So what's your favourite Jamaican dish?
Oh, I love it all.
Was it oxtail you was eating the other day?
Yeah, I had a mix of oxtail and curry go, because I was like, I asked the lady at the shop, I was like, can I have both? And then I also love dumpling as well. Fried chicken. I love it all, really. It's just like home food, isn't it? Soul food. So whenever there's an opportunity, I'm like, I'll get it. Yeah.
Can you cook it?
Not as well as the shops. I can cook. I'll give my mum credit. She's taught me well. I can cook well, but it's always like the shops. It just hits different. It does. Do you know what I mean? They've got like the proper Jamaican aunties there.
Home, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, you've got to let it marinate.
Spend the whole weekend doing
exactly. It's always like especially if you cook curry chicken, it tastes better like the next day. Or like if you put it in the freezer, then you have it a couple weeks later, it tastes, because it's just emulsified into it.
It really does. So you've done some amazing things at such a young age. But what's one thing that doesn't reflect on your LinkedIn? I know you're posting every day on LinkedIn. Your journey.
Not every day.
Well, okay.
2 to 3 times a week.
Okay. But what's something? What's not reflected on your LinkedIn at the moment? What's something you've achieved that's not reflected on your LinkedIn?
Oh, that's hard, because I do put a lot.
Put everything on that.
No, I don't want to say everything, but gosh, it's hard. I guess back to like secondary school, maybe. Okay. Like even getting into a grammar school, I was really proud of myself at the time, because it's not easy. There's a lot of people competing to get in. I don't know, it's hard now, because I see LinkedIn as like giving people a window into my life. Okay. You know, I'm not telling them my national insurance number. I'm not giving them a lot of things, but it's nice to share your achievements. And I think the way I use it is showing people like what's possible if you put yourself out there. And obviously, I'm not saying your journey will have to be completely the same as me. So, I like showing it as a way of, it's nice to get, like, nice messages and everything as well. But also, I think, inspiring people. So, recently, like, in my corporate career, I have shared, like, every major accomplishment on LinkedIn, I guess. Yeah.
So, what's the message you're trying to put out on LinkedIn? I know you're a big voice and a big advocate for promoting apprenticeships to young individuals. Is that the message? Is that what you're trying to push?
I would say there's a couple of things. So I think the main thing is obviously apprenticeships and early careers, and showing them, you know, apprenticeships are a viable option, because when I was starting, I think it was a bit before the peak that we're seeing today in the popularity of apprenticeships. So there weren't really too many people sharing the same thing at that time. Now that I've had my job and I've had a lot of opportunities, I want to do that. Okay. And then also early careers, because at my company, we class early careers as working in between 0 and 3 years of your career.
Yeah.
So I'm nearly in my 4th, but I'm still in early career in terms of grade. But to show them the possibility of corporate, it's not just 9 to 5. There's a lot more you can do. You can get involved in your work more. And I think the most important one is just to be like inspirational and be a role model to others. Because as I said, when I was 15 looking for apprenticeships, there weren't anyone out there doing that sort of thing. So I want to show people and empower them, give them the confidence to be like, okay, I can do more than just the day job if I want to. I can get into those rooms with directors and CEOs. I can do hosting. I can go on stages. I can do a lot of different things. So I think when I'm posting something, I always, I recount what I did, but then I always try and give them some key learnings. Because I think about what value am I adding to them as a viewer. Because I think about, I like posts where, they've told me what they've done, but then what they've learned, I think that's really good. So I always try and pick at least three key things that I can share. So from this experience, this is what I've learned, and this is what you can learn it and make it useful as well. So I think that's something that maybe the past year and a half I've focused on a lot more.
Yeah. Do you feel like a lot of the younger generation, so just below you, do you feel like they're under a lot of pressure to go down the traditional route of getting their A levels and going to university?
I think there's a lot of pressure in general for them to know what they want to do. I think it's hard with social media as well. You're seeing people, in their dream roles, but it's like the iceberg. You always see the top. Oh no, someone's swimming. You always see, them on the top of the surface, but you don't see them vigorously paddling underneath. So I think there's less of pressure now to go down the traditional route because there is more knowledge and awareness about apprenticeships. So, you've got UCAS, you've got the government apprenticeships. They're doing a lot, big campaigns out there. I think there needs to be more education on for parents and for career advisors, because the parents are the ones who really have the say. Because, if a parent tells their child you can't do that, the child probably won't do it. So I think people need to focus more in that area, because I think kids especially with TikTok influencers these days, they're starting to know it's a good option.
Of course.
But whenever I talk to someone, I'm like, it's okay to not know what you want to do because you're so young and you will figure it out. There's still some people who have career changes. It's completely fine. And I think these days, you're not just in one company for your whole career, you're changing. So there is a lot of pressure, unfortunately, but I just want to help people navigate and say it's okay to not know, but just lean into what you're good at and your skill sets.
No, that's true. So I know you said at the age of 15 that you wanted to go down the apprenticeship route, but did you know it was going to be specifically in engineering?
Yeah, so I think, my brother, to clarify, he did an apprenticeship. So he did a level 3, which is straight after GCSEs, going college 1 day a week to do a BTEC, which is equivalent to A levels, and then working. So I think he was like a role model in that sense. I know I mentioned I didn't have many, but he was one of them at the time. And so I did some work experience as well at school, and I liked the STEM subjects. So with my mom's help, she was the one who told me about apprenticeships, because my school at the time, bless them, they're a bit clueless. They're good now, I've got to give them credit, they've learned. But back then, they weren't really talking about that as an option. So through me enjoying engineering, enjoying those subjects, doing work experience, and then knowing about apprenticeships, I was like, bam, let's combine them. Let's do a civil engineering apprenticeship.
Okay. And just to explain to the viewers as well, so the civil engineering apprenticeship you're doing at the moment, that's level 6, isn't it? So it's level 6. You've got a level 3, which I did at the age of 16, which was going 1 day a week to college. And then a level 6 is the degree. So I'm studying at Warwick University. It's a 5-year degree, so it's a long one. But it's part-time. So I go from January to June every year. And then I go 1 week every month. So that's on campus. It's nice. I do get that kind of bit of uni life, classroom environment. And then the rest of the time I'm working. So you mentioned very briefly as well about hosting events. Yes. So how do you handle being in such a big room at such a young age? Like, how do you handle that pressure and that responsibility? Yeah, I was talking about this last week at an event that I was doing for students. And I was saying, I've had the opportunity to be in rooms with CEOs, directors, very senior people at a young age. I started corporate at 16. I'm only 20 now. And I guess one of the biggest things I tell myself is I'm in this room for a reason. I've worked damn hard to get here. And I was saying to them, a lot of people ask about imposter syndrome. And I don't think I've had that because, as I said, I've worked hard and I've got a lot of that self-belief. And I know that I'm in the room because they value my perspective. I've got something to add.
And at the end of the day, like, you know, I've been in the room with the Prime Minister. He's just a person at the end of the day. Like, not to name drop.
All right.
But like, they're just people at the end of the day. And I'm good at people. You know, I know how to speak to people. I know how to conversate. Yeah. And I think that's why I feel comfortable in those environments, because I have that sense like I belong here. Yeah.
I remember the first time I met you was at, is it not the Boathouse?
It was one of the places.
Yeah, it was a Future Faces event.
Yeah.
And I was getting pushed to come over to you. Sophie come up to me, it's like, you got to go and speak to Santina. You got to go and speak to Santina. She's amazing. Yeah. I remember that.
And I think, you know, that's sort of a credit to how I interact with people, because my mum always says, treat others how you want to be treated. Yeah. So I'm a nice person. It's not hard to be nice, and you know, I love asking questions about other people, because I generally love people and show my interest. And you know, I people remember how you make them feel.
That's very true.
And it's something that, you know, even through a smile, it says a lot. And that interaction, it will allow them to, you know, think of you in different rooms and situations, like, oh, she'd be good for that. So how I got into hosting, just to come back to your question, I kind of fell into it, and I know people are like, oh, not the falling into it answer. But it's true. It was never something that I'd even thought about. But it was because the lady that I knew in the apprenticeship space, she recommended me to co-host these awards. Okay. And I did it, and I was like, I love it. You know, when you become addicted to something, I was like, I really like it. But then I didn't know how to go about doing it more. Yeah. Hosting is one of those things. It's based on reputation. People normally come to you. Yeah. So I'd done that. I'd, you know, put
if anyone wants another host, by the way, reach out to Santina.
I'm available. But yeah, so then off the back of that, I put some videos, did a post, and then these two other people that I knew, again, is through knowing people. Okay. I was the sole host of the Inspirational Youth Awards for 300 people, and it was a full circle moment, because the year before I was a finalist. Wow. And the next year I was hosting it. Wow. And that was just on my own, which is, I was nervous, but I was so nervous, because I was like, I'm on my own. Yeah. There's no one that I can rely on to back me up. Yeah. And I was saying to you earlier, I feel like a host is like a DJ. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. They control the environment. So I was like, you know, I've got one shot at this. But the good thing is I've been to a lot of awards, so I know what it's like. Yeah. So I did it, and it was really well received. Everyone had a great time. I was dancing on the stage. And again, just through reputation, that's how I hosted the Cornwall Food Festival. Yeah. I worked at the West Midlands Combined Authority. And hopefully a lot more to come. Nothing's booked in the calendar, but actually, no, tell a lie. Something is booked in the calendar.
Something you can speak about, or
no, I can't speak about. It's not been announced, but it's a big one. It's I think there's going to be like 800, 900 people in London, so I'm excited for that.
I'll look out for my invite.
Yeah.
But talking about the full circle moments as well. So 18 months ago, you won the GBYPY overall winner, didn't you?
Yes, that's right.
Then what, 2 weeks ago?
Youngest winner in 23-year history, age of 19.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I remember interviewing you after winning that award as well. Actually, I was on stage
you were with PJ Ellis on the stage. That's right, I remember that. Yeah.
Then the full circle moment was for you. You were judging
last week.
The finalists, weren't you, last week?
Yeah, I was judging, and you know, I do think these are like pinch me moments. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, this has happened. Yeah. And it just makes me so happy to think. I feel like I've sort of just set the ceiling so high for myself now, because I've done so much already at a young age. But I feel like more recently I've tried to be more reflective, to be like, damn, I've actually done that. You know, be grateful. And it's so easy to think about what's next, what's in the pipeline, but just to be in the moment.
So this is why you go on holiday 4 times a year. It's time to reflect.
Yeah, so it was nice to be able to judge the candidates, because I knew how they feel. Yeah. But the whole process was, when I was applying for it myself, the judges were so lovely, and they made it feel like we were just having a casual conversation. So I wanted to do the same thing. So when the candidates coming in, I was smiling and everything. And actually, going back to the awards itself, so it was so lovely because there was a whole table of people from my company. So they were there to support. Yep. And I was the first category. So then I was like, oh, I think it did go well. But you know, you don't know what people were thinking or their criteria, because everyone's looking for something different. And then they called my name. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then I thought the day was done. I was like, right, we've got to get through the other categories, just enjoy my food. I totally forgot there was an overall winner. Yep. And then they had, okay, we've got the overall winner category. And I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe. Because bear in mind, I think there's 15 categories, over 70 finalists. And they called my name, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm up there again. I remember just waving to everyone, like bright-eyed. It really was just an amazing moment. And I think that's when I start to learn more about the legacy of the awards, the history, like the past winners and how they've really impacted Birmingham as a whole. I think it probably brought me even closer to the city and key members of the city.
Do you feel as though it opened more doors for you as well, winning an award?
Yes, I would say the ball was always rolling beforehand, but you know, winning the award gave me a whole new platform and elevated it, because it was in like newspapers as well. I remember seeing like the newspaper and people messaging me, because I think because I was so young, it was like a historic moment for the city, which was so lovely. I felt like everyone rallied around me. And Sophie's been great. I've got a lot of opportunities from her. So since the awards, I've been on 3 magazine front covers, which is like pretty crazy. Should have brought them here today.
You should have actually.
But yeah, it's been meeting a lot of different people as well. So I'm going to be passing the baton soon in October. So making the most of it until then. But I'm excited to see what the next person will do. Yeah. And everyone makes it their own, really.
Yeah. So would you always encourage like young professionals to apply for awards?
Absolutely. Every award that I've applied for, I've self-nominated.
Good. Because
I feel like you are the only person who knows yourself. That's wow. True. And it can be an intimidating thing. Yeah. Putting yourself forward for an award and like writing about yourself in that way. I think
it's a good time to reflect as well, isn't it, when you are doing award submissions?
Absolutely, and think like, okay, I've actually done quite a bit. Yeah. So I would definitely say to people out there, if you're thinking of applying, just apply and put your name in the ring, because you never know what's going to happen. You might not get it. You might get through shortlisted, and then that gives you more motivation. But it's nice to have that recognition by other people being like, you are doing well. And again, a lot of doors can open from that. So definitely, if you're out there, go apply for some awards.
And going back to the story, we're not glazing over it. You meeting the Prime Minister. So take me back. How did that happen?
So I just come back from holiday.
Okay, shock.
Recurring theme. So I was checking my emails. I was at home setting the scene. And so my work always does these spam emails to try and make sure you're staying alert.
What, try and catch you out?
To try and catch you out. Okay. Yeah, it's good. They catch me out a few times when I do the training. But so it came in, and I thought it was a spam email. I was like, there's no way. Because it literally read, it says, the Prime Minister invites you, Santina Bunting, to an International Women's Day reception at 10 Downing Street.
Wow.
I actually screamed. My mum came rushing in. She was like, what on earth's happened? And I was like, Mum, I've just been invited to 10 Downing Street. Bear in mind, I'm 19 at the time. This is in February. I was like, how? Why? I was like, oh my gosh. And this is why I always say, people are always watching. They might not be interacting, but people are watching, because when I was there on the day, so there was about 100 different women. Okay. There was like celebrities there, people from all sectors, ages, so diverse. But I was asking one of the aides, I was like, how did I get here? Yeah. And he was like, you were nominated. So someone has been seeing the stuff that I've been doing and nominated me. And actually the aide pulled me aside, and I was part of a group of people who were like, who could say hello to the Prime Minister and introduce himself. Obviously, it was very quick, like handshake, few minutes spiel, then on to the next, because everyone was swarming him. But just to be in the room so I've been to 10 Downing Street. I've been to Buckingham Palace. I was invited to the King's Summer Garden Party at the age of 18. And then I've spoken at the House of Lords. So I feel like I've done like the big 3. Yeah. All before the age of 20. That's huge. For me, it's mind blowing, really. Like, I think of it, and I'm like, wow. Was you able to take your mum down to any so for the Buckingham Palace, because I had a +1. So I was nominated by the CEO of, at the time, the Institute of Apprenticeships and Technical Education, because I was on an apprentice panel with them, and I'd done a lot of work around strategy and shaping apprenticeships. And that was sort of like a thank you. So took my mum down. We got dressed in our best frocks. We had like the hats on that you'll see. The only thing with England, it was a rainy day. So
it's not Redditch today.
I know, but that didn't dampen our spirits, because I was like, we're still here. To be able to take my mom, because it's an invite-only event. I think they only do it twice a year. So it was really, had my little score on my plate was stacked. Wow. So it was just a lovely day. It was a really nice day. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what drives you? I know you're a voice for the apprenticeships, you're a voice for the young professionals across Birmingham, but what drives you and gets you out of bed in the morning, Santina?
So I think for me, what drives me is knowing that I only have one life.
Okay.
That might sound a bit like morbid.
Not at all.
But I always think you're the only one who's really in charge of your own life.
Yeah.
And I just want to have the best life possible.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's so many opportunities out there, but most opportunities you have to get for yourself. They're not given to you. And I've seen that in my company.
Yeah.
I've seen that through all the stuff that I've had the opportunities for, because they've known me. I've gone for it myself. So yeah, that's the reason. I want to enjoy myself. I want to feel like I'm contributing and have an impact. Yeah. I think that's a massive thing that drives people, knowing that the work that you're doing, what you're putting out there, is being well received and is contributing to something. Because I think that's like an intrinsic thing as humans, to be contributing and doing something purposefully. So, and then also doing something I'm passionate about and I enjoy and what makes me happy. Yeah. And then having lots of adventures as well, spending time with my family and friends. So it's a bit, again, it's a cocktail of everything. Yeah. That's going to be my new saying, cocktail of things. Okay. But yeah, so a bit of everything and just wanting the best for myself, really.
Talking about a bit of everything, you wanted to know the full setup for today as well, didn't you? What software am I using? What equipment am I using?
Scenes, I want to know. I'm an inquisitive person. I should be asking the questions.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. So you've just got into photography as well, haven't you?
Well, I guess I fell into it. I didn't really, I put my hand up to do it. So at work, we have an internal network called Connect Race, which I'm a part of. Okay. And I was helping to organise some events. And then they needed someone to take the photos. Yeah. I was thinking, I've got an iPhone. How hard can it be? And honestly, it wasn't that hard. Like they just, I got a camera from work. Yeah. Didn't even change any of the settings. Just making sure the lighting was good. And then everyone liked it. And so that was in our London office. And then I've done it again in Bristol. Yeah. And then I did it again in, I think it was Manchester. No, Newcastle actually. And now I'm just the photography person. Wow. So again, it's not something that I was even looking to do, but I was like, how hard can it be? Yeah. I'll try it out. And I think that's where people get far, because they might not know in the instant how to do it, but then they go out their way to learn, to be proactive. And that's what you have to be in a job as well.
Sometimes you've got to throw yourself in the deep end.
You've got to throw yourself, and it worked out and everyone was happy. So that's why I can add it to like my list of hobbies, photography.
Yeah. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. And I've got an iPhone and it really was just clicking a button. Yeah. So I know there's a lot more, if you're a photographer out there's a lot more that goes into it. But just for myself.
I was speaking to a close friend of mine actually last week, and he was booked to do a wedding shoot a couple of weeks ago. Oh, yeah. And he'd done the shoot, got home, then realised he weren't actually recording. He must have, I don't know how it happened, but none of the photos or the videos were actually taken of that event. Oh my God. Yeah, he had to apologise to the bride. Oh my God. Missed that special moment, yeah.
Wow, you'd have to redo the wedding again.
I know.
Yeah, oh my gosh, wow.
But what's it been like navigating your space? So within the space that you're in, within engineering, you're a young professional, but you're also a mixed race black woman as well. Yeah. Have you ever felt any struggles around that?
You know what? No, I think I've been really lucky that for my career, like getting into my job, for my apprenticeship, I've had 5 different companies. Yep. My current company, they were the top choice, and they were the first interview, and I got in straight away. Like only ever actually one interview, one assessment centre, and then within the role, I've been lucky that the people I've been around have been so supportive. You know, always wanting the best for me, turning up for my meetings with my university, my college, thinking about my development. So I really have got lucky, and I say look because that's just what it is. A lot of people, they come to a company and they're unfortunately not in that supportive environment that will nurture them and help them. Yeah. And I've never felt that I don't belong because of how I look, because of my background. And I think in my company, on my floor, there's so much visibility of different people. Okay. You know, you've got my line manager's a woman, my group leader's a woman, you've got lots of directors who are women, people from different backgrounds, and they're all really friendly, all really approachable. So I've been really fortunate to say that I've never felt that way, but I acknowledge that a lot of people do. A lot of people, unfortunately, especially when you're so young, I think that can really dissuade you when you're going into a company and you just see no one who looks like you, you know, no inclusion there. And that would put me off. I think that would really demotivate me. So I think a lot of people, not just apprentices, people starting jobs, go through that. And that can be demotivating. And I would say, if you're in that situation, try and get out, really. You can't say, oh, I'm going to try and ride it out. Because if the company is like that to its core, it probably won't change anytime soon. That's very true. So you've got to get out there and find. And that's why culture for me is something that I value really highly. You know, a lot of people, it's salary. But for me, that environment makes all the difference. Yeah. So yeah, I've been really lucky that I haven't had many challenges, really.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know one amazing thing that you mentioned is you've never suffered with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But it is very common for young professionals, for anyone really, not just young people, anyone to suffer from imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to others that are suffering from imposter syndrome?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a lot to do with mindset as well, and telling yourself, I am good enough, you know, I deserve to be here. So I think I would say is try and change your mindset. And that's not something that will happen overnight. But even me, like I wake up and I'd be like, oh, today will be a good day. Yeah. Just those little phrases, if you can try and repeat that over and over again. And also understand with imposter syndrome, maybe it's because of lack of experience in a sector as well. Yeah. So, you know, go out and learn about what's new in the sector, what's happening. If they're talking about something you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask questions as well. Also, when it comes to speaking and being confident, that comes with practice. So whenever I'm doing an event, I always practice beforehand. If I'm given the questions, or if, you know, I'm doing a speech, I'll have my notes prepared. Practice makes perfect. So unfortunately, it's not something that will change overnight, but really having that mindset shift and, you know, saying those positive affirmations, I think will really help in the long run. Because again, another thing I say is you are your own worst enemy. And you are the person who will hold yourself back. Yeah. So if you can start to think more positive of yourself, then I think a lot more things will open up. Yeah.
And I know, like, you mentioned confidence there, which is great. But a lot of young professionals might see confidence as arrogance, not speaking about you specifically. Yeah. But what would you say to those that do misunderstand the word confidence?
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And I think it's all about how you speak on it and how you write it. So, for example, on my LinkedIn, if I'm saying an achievement, I always like to say I'm proud, or I'm humbled, or I'm blessed to have been invited. Those key words, I feel like it sets the tone of what I'm saying, and it makes it feel like, oh, she's really grateful to do that. Yeah. And you know, my mom's always there in the background, like, remain humble, remain humble. Yeah. And I'm like, absolutely, because it could be taken away from me at any one moment. I might not have had all those opportunities. It could be given to someone else. So I have got to think I am really grateful. And also just knowing, like, you know how other people come across. Yep. So if you think someone's coming across as arrogant, then just trying to not be like that and not copy those traits. And also, if your friends pull you up, listen to your friends or listen to your family, because they're only looking out for you. So I think it's kind of a hard question, but that's
a great answer.
It's a great answer. The question.
It's a great answer. So if you could sit your younger self down, what would you say to younger Santina? Yeah, what advice would you give her? What can you say to her?
If I say to younger but still tall Santina,
still a beast at handball as well,
I'd say to her, like, you should be really proud of yourself. You're doing really well. Yeah. I've always been that, like, positive, happy-go-lucky person, and a lot of people ask me, why are you like that? And I think it's because there are so many other people who are worse off than me. So I want to focus on the positives that I have and focus on that gratitude. I think also because I'm a Christian, so I think that plays a big part in it as well. But so I'd say to younger Santina, don't change anything that you're going to do because you're doing the right thing.
You're on the right path.
Keep smiling, keep being determined, keep having fun because things will work out.
Yeah. No, that's great. So what chapter are you currently writing now? In your life, Santina, what chapter are we in?
Finishing my degree.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a quick chapter. Yeah. There's 3 more years left. And you know what I said earlier? I always knew I did want to get a degree. And it's completely fine if you don't want to. I don't think today to be successful, you have to get a degree. But it's something that I wanted to do. So that's the next 3 years of commitment towards education, doing that. Excuse me.
It's a Revibe drink.
Should not have had a drink before. So finishing my degree, but then I'd also say doing a bit of everything. Okay. I think this chapter is called doing a bit of everything because obviously I've got my day job doing engineering and I'm making sure I'm developing and progressing there, giving that my attention. but I'm also not closing off the doors for other opportunities. So as I said, doing my potential hosting, getting into it a bit more. Check me out. But then, you know, public speaking or just the other stuff that I do and what might come in. And also one thing I haven't mentioned is 1 day a week I work in the global internal comms and marketing team at work. So that's having a different insight into a whole another sector. Because, you know, I'm an ambitious person. But I think some people plan their life too much. And I was listening to another podcast earlier, and she's worked in all like the big companies out there, and she was being asked like, did you plan this? And she was saying no. She really just rolled with the punches, as they say, left herself open to everything. Because I think if you're so fixated on one thing, you'll get narrow-minded, and there's other things you might not look at. So whilst we're young, they say your 20s are your time to explore.
And find your feet.
Find your feet, find what you enjoy, find what is you. And then your 30s is more the time to like settle down and then, you know, go a bit more into it. So yeah, this chapter is called Leaving All Doors Open.
I like it. And what would you want others to take away from today's podcast, from today's episode? What lesson?
So hopefully you made it to the end.
Sure I have.
But yeah, I just want you to take away that, you know, all the stuff that I've done, you know, my big achievements, it's not because I've done my day job. You know, I do well at my day job, but it's because I've put myself out there. I've remained curious. I've remained proactive. I've built relationships and been personable, because that's a massive thing, I think, especially as we're shifting to be a digital society. People are losing that. They're losing how to make connections, how to have conversations. So focus on those art forms, which they really are.
No, that's true.
Focus on them more. And then like upskill yourself. So and also just to believe in yourself and believe that you can achieve anything if you'll put your mind to it, and just keep on being positive, because there's hopefully a lot more to come for yourself. So just keep dreaming big.
I like it. And if anyone wants another host for a future award show,
check me out.
How can they find you?
So on LinkedIn, Santina Bunting, give me a ping. And on this podcast as well. But no, I've had such a lovely time.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for coming down, Santina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. No problem.